Perhaps something has begun to shift, not because you have acquired a new belief, not because you have reached a special state, but perhaps because, for a little while, you have looked at your experience with fresh eyes. If that is all that has happened, that is enough. Notice that throughout this conversation, nothing new has been added to your experience. No new sense has appeared. No hidden faculty has suddenly awakened. The sounds were already here. The sensations were already here. Thoughts were already appearing. Life was already unfolding. The only invitation has been to become interested. Interested in what is so close that it is usually overlooked. It is curious, isn't it? We spend our lives becoming familiar with the extraordinary complexity of the world. Yet we rarely pause to become familiar with the simple fact that experience is happening at all, not as an idea, as a living reality. Perhaps this is why so many contemplative traditions begin with attention rather than explanation. Before there is understanding, there is looking. Before there is certainty, there is curiosity. Before there is philosophy, there is this moment. Now notice something very simple. You have not been asked to stop thinking. Thoughts have continued. You have not been asked to stop feeling. Emotions have continued. You have not been asked to reject memory. Memory has continued. Nothing has needed to disappear. Perhaps this is important, because so often we imagine that freedom must be found by creating a different experience, a quieter mind, a better mood, a more peaceful life. Perhaps those things sometimes happen, perhaps they do not. Our inquiry has never depended upon them. It has depended only upon your willingness to look honestly. Now, another possibility. What if this exploration does not end when this recording ends? What if it is only beginning? Tomorrow morning, while brushing your teeth, become interested. While drinking your coffee, become interested. While speaking with someone you love, become interested. While feeling impatient in traffic, become interested. While standing in line at a grocery store, become interested. Not interested in changing the moment, interested in seeing it clearly. Notice how quickly thought begins to describe. Notice how memory quietly joins the conversation. Notice how expectation begins to shape perception. Notice how identity gathers itself around a story. Not to stop it, simply to see it. Seeing may be enough. Perhaps much of life changes, not because experience changes, but because what was unconscious becomes conscious, not through effort, through observation. There will be moments when this feels obvious. There will also be moments when you forget completely. You may become absorbed in worry, caught in planning, lost in an argument, swept away by excitement, overwhelmed by grief, captured by habit. When that happens, please do not think you have failed. Forgetting is not the opposite of this inquiry. Forgetting is part of it. How do you know you have forgotten? Because suddenly you notice. And that noticing is already the beginning of remembering. Not remembering a teaching, not remembering these words, remembering to look, remembering to become interested once again. There is no need to criticize yourself, no need to rush back, no need to force a particular state. Simply notice, gently, kindly. As you might smile at a child who became absorbed in a beautiful story, you do not scold the child. You simply call their name, and they look up. Perhaps this inquiry is just like that. Life calls your attention home, again and again and again. Each return is new. Each return is fresh. Nothing has been lost, because what you are looking toward has never been absent, only overlooked. So perhaps the invitation is wonderfully simple. Stay with what is undeniable. Become interested. Look again. Do not conclude too quickly. Allow your own experience to become your teacher, not because it will give you all the answers, but because it is the one place where every genuine discovery must begin. As we continue this journey together, we will explore the wisdom preserved in many of the world's contemplative traditions, not to collect beliefs, not to prove a philosophy, but to see whether their symbols, stories, and sayings might serve as skillful invitations to look more deeply. If they do, wonderful. If they do not, let them go. Nothing true depends upon agreement. Everything worth discovering invites investigation. So, before you move on with your day, pause for just one quiet moment. Without trying to improve this moment, without trying to understand it, simply notice. Experience is present, and perhaps that simple noticing, repeated gently throughout an ordinary life, may reveal more than any conclusion ever could. Until next time, become interested.